Hello, everyone, and welcome to a new PennyWise podcast from Lee Enterprises. I'm your host, Teri Barr, and we have some new statistics I want to start out with. Now, this is really kind of a surprise. 3 in 5 Americans may not be able to find their preferred product they're looking for the holiday year. Thank goodness we have Lisa Rowan here. Lisa is the consumer finance expert with Forbes Advisor. She's going to help us figure out why this is happening and what we can do about it to make sure the holidays are happy for everybody. Hi, Lisa.
Hey, it's glad to be here.
Oh, happy to have you. Now, for people who regularly listen or watch this podcast, they probably have with the supply chain, because you and I talked about this 2 or 3 times already. Where are we at with the supply chain now, and why are we still talking about this?
I'd love to be able to tell you that the supply chain issues are not over, but they've been building during the pandemic, and they're compounding in a way that's really going to become evident for the regular shopper this holiday season. You have, all the things we talked about before. You have delays in shipping because of container ships and port hours and port issues. You have some factories that have had to close around the world temporarily because of COVID outbreaks in countries that have a low vaccination rate. And you have sort of a mix of supply and demand right now. We're still seeing that the American family is ready to spend, not only throughout 2021, but during the holiday season, because they are doing well financially. And so these are all coming to a head this holiday season, which could mean that if you don't plan ahead, you might roll up to your favorite big box store and hit the toy aisle and see empty shelves. And so that could complicate things for your household under the tree. So it's better to be prepared and just plan for the worst.
Okay, we're going to talk about that, because the last thing you want are people crying by the Christmas tree. My goodness.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be
that's not what we're trying to do on Christmas morning, is have any tears.
Okay, so if we talk about the challenges, and just a couple of months ago, why do we think that the holiday sales started so early if they knew, say the retailers knew, this would still be an issue?
So, like you said, retailers have been thinking about this for close to 18 months now, right? And so it's a little different from last holiday season when we knew people were going to shop, but we were sort of wondering, were we going to get another stimulus check? What was going to be happening with benefits like unemployment? So the money was a little more uncertain last year, even though holiday sales were fine considering everything. But this year, noting these supply chain issues that have been building up, and also retailers are knowing that people are going to want to continue to shop. They're thinking about those things together, and they've said, well, what can we do to make it as easy as possible? One, for us as the retailer to make money, but two, for the consumer to get what they want. And so the thing that they've come to is saying, well, let's start the sales early. That does not mean that they are doing doorbusters like you used to see on Black Friday on Columbus Day. It more means that they are rolling out some deals earlier. They're sort of doing a rolling basis instead of waiting until the week of Thanksgiving. And they're also making it a little bit easier for you to shop confidently. And I'll give you an example of that is Target. They started their price matching program, I believe on October 10th. So if you buy a product at Target and they offer a lower price anytime between that point and Christmas Eve, they'll match the price. So you can go in and shop, get the deal that's advertised, or maybe just the color that you want for an item. And if the price does go down, you can always get the adjustment, but you don't have to second guess yourself. Oh, should I wait for a deal later on?
Right.
And risk missing it altogether, right? So retailers are really saying, okay, come in now. We're not putting everything on sale at once because we don't want to run out of things by Thanksgiving. But if you start now, we're going to offer you a little bit of an incentive, or sort of like a security program, so that you don't have to wonder if you're missing out. They're preventing FOMO is what they're doing at the register.
Wow, that is a lot of work for the retailers end. But then we, as the consumer shopper, also needs to keep track of being able to price match, keep an eye on those. There's some work that's going to go into it this year too. You also have, and I love this, some very specific things to try to help us get through this holiday season. And that was part of what we talk about when we talk about the retailers really trying to help shoppers get ahead of this thing so no one's disappointed? What other things are they doing, Lisa?
Retailers are really making it easy for you to take advantage of all the methods of shopping at once. So if you're someone who does a mix of online shopping and in-store shopping, you're going to be fine this holiday season because you are probably familiar with the tools that have become really popular during the pandemic. You have buy online, pick up in store, where you can order something at home and go grab it from the front desk. There's also curbside pickup for your online orders. And these tools are great because they allow you to check to see what's available at the store near you and then basically reserve it, pay for it up front, and then go pick it up. So that if you want to make sure you get the exact item that you want, you don't have to make a trip to the store, find out that it's not there, find out maybe it's in stock at this other location, drive to the other one, find out it's not in stock there. Do you remember doing this? I remember doing this years ago, doing my Christmas shopping. Yeah. Yeah. And it's exhausting. And retailers know how important it is to get customer loyalty right now, especially during these trying and unprecedented times, right? So they've done a lot and made a ton of adjustments to make it easier for you to shop in these mix and match kind of ways. So that's one way that you can make it easier on yourself, regardless of when you start to shop. But, do a little bit of planning ahead. And I think an important thing here too is, even though I just talked about store loyalty, do your comparison shopping, not necessarily because you're going to get an amazing deal at a store that you may not ordinarily shop at, but because they may have a better selection. There's a lot of variables that are coming into the supply chain stuff here. So, check around in your neighborhood and see, because you might be surprised who has stuff in stock that you're looking for.
What do you think is still sitting on those shipping containers that every time you watch the news, there's a shot of that, and there are those ships. Are there toys and different things that we should be thinking, okay, maybe we do have to revise what we want to get? Has there been an update on what's out?
Yeah. It's a lot of big things, and it's a lot of heavy things. So a lot of retailers have shipped to air freight to get things over quicker, but they're not doing that for things like furniture, home accessories, exercise equipment. Those things are all still sitting on the boats, right? Because it doesn't make sense to pay a ton more to ship them on a plane, and then you're going to have to charge more because you spent so much more to get it here, right? So you're seeing a lot of the bigger, heavier things that are still on the ships. But even if you just think about the types of things that we get from Asia, there's still a ton of stuff that is sitting on those boats, just regular sized items. And toys is one of them. 85% of the toys that are sold in the US are made in China. So it's sort of inevitable to think that, if your child likes the certain character or the certain type of toy, that might get held up in shipping. So if you can get them to put down a couple different things on their list that they're asking for, or a couple favorite colors, or just some alternatives. I normally am not one to say, have your kid make a longer Christmas list, but this year it actually makes sense. And set the expectation of, like, you might get some surprises. You're not going to get everything on this list, but you might get some of the stuff on this list. I think that's really important this year.
It's really different, isn't it, Lisa?
It's so different. I mean, I'm still wondering why I didn't get that guinea pig I asked for when I was 9. So if someone can go back in the time machine and find out and ask my mom, that would be great. But it is really all about setting expectations this year.
It is. Oh my goodness. We were talking about shipping and, having that ability to either go to the store to pick it up or the curbside. What if you want things now shipped to your home? Do people have maybe the wrong idea of, oh, hey, if I have it shipped to my home, I'll get it even?
Shopping online is still a good idea. I'm still going to be doing a ton of it myself, but you do have to still plan ahead. You used to be able to get a Black Friday deal, a Cyber Monday deal, and then about a week and a half after that, you would get some sort of free shipping day deal where there would be another sale. And as we got closer and closer to Christmas, the deals didn't stop. Well, the deals are going to still keep going this year, but if you are buying 10 days before Christmas, you can't expect that that's going to get to you in time. You just have to reset your expectations. And this may not matter if you're just shopping for yourself later in the season, but if you're shopping for gifts, you can't wait until the last minute to shop for things online. It's definitely a time to plan ahead, because not only are the major carriers facing some labor shortages, we're also seeing planned slowdowns. The US Postal Service purposefully slowed down mail delivery for the last quarter of the year, just to be able to meet budgetary requirements. And they also put some surcharges on some packages during the holiday season. So you're going to be able to see some differences in the mail service in your area. You may not notice it if you're planning ahead, but if you're waiting to shop, you're probably going to have some delay. You're going to have to do the IOU and the card with a picture of the item that you tape into the card. I've done that so many times in my life. And this, even if you plan ahead, this could still be the year that you have to do those.
Yeah, I believe that. And I love to shop way ahead. You know, when you're out somewhere traveling and you see something perfect for that right person, grab it. And everybody else thinks that's a little crazy, but I'm kind of glad I do that now.
Yeah. I've talked to some people who have started Christmas shopping a month and a half ago. And I'll be honest, I have a little bin under my bed where when I see something fun that would be a good stocking stuffer or a good gift for someone who's hard to buy for, I grab it and I just stick it in. It's the Christmas bin. I stick it in there and then I'm ready to wrap things. And I just go through the bin and see what I have. And look, I buy primarily for adults. I only have 2 nephews and they make it very easy for me to shop for them. So I'm in a really easy boat here, but I know a lot of people who hang out with a lot of particular people, right? You want to get the right thing or you feel pressure to buy the right gift. So there's a lot riding on this holiday season, especially when we might actually be able to see people this year versus last year when we really couldn't. So there's going to be a lot of changes this year.
So we've got, as you mentioned at the beginning, people and families spend, but then we have the shipping containers and the shipping issues. What's the bottom line to all of this? What do you think people can be thinking about as they try to navigate all of this as we get closer to the holidays?
I feel like it's my rule for everything, but I always go back to a don't panic. Do not panic about this. As much as I just told you for the last 15 minutes to plan ahead and shop early, if you miss those earliest sales, there's still going to be some discounts towards the end of the season. There are still going to be things available if you're going in 2 days before Christmas, desperate for a gift for someone that you don't really know that well and you have to get it. You're going to be fine. You're not going to walk into a Target or a Walmart and see the shelves barren. This really applies to if you're looking for specific items you don't want to take chances on. There are still going to be plenty of items. And honestly, I think you're still going to find ways to have a really fun holiday season, even if the gifts don't line up the way you wanted to. I think be patient. Don't panic. You're going to get through this season. Okay. And we're all just going to laugh about it later. I'm not laughing about it yet, but we'll laugh about it later.
You have a deal. Let's get together later and we'll talk and laugh about it and see where the whole situation
Exactly. Yeah.
Is. Oh my goodness. But thanks for that glimmer of light at the end of this conversation. This is, we love to talk to you, Lisa. Thank you so much for that.
Thanks for having me. We can go shopping anytime. So I'll meet you at the mall. We'll get this stuff done and then we'll hit the food court.
Okay, there we go. There we go. That's what everybody's talking about. Get what you need, start it early, and then just relax.
Yes.
Hi, everyone. Again, this is Lisa Rowan. She is the consumer finance expert with Forbes Advisor, and we are just always pleased when she has time to talk with us. Thanks again, Lisa.
Glad to be here. Thanks so much.
Yes, and you are listening to this new PennyWise podcast. Find PennyWise wherever you enjoy getting your podcasts. And we'll see you and talk with you again next time.